Hello, this is Turin Turambar, and I am back with another set from Forest Nothing Team Tournament. But as you can tell, we can zoom out to the whole map because I am using Capture Age now. So this is my first time using it. I might be a little slow with it. I don't know all the hotkeys. I also can't activate small trees, but it should be fine because we're only casting, not playing. So to introduce the teams, we have the Vikings on the right with the substitute Quiche. He is actually from the team Trojan Horses, only the best team in the tournament. But he is substituting for the Vikings because they could not find a third player. But he is in the pocket, and with flanks, Shania Twain, one of the best players in the game right now. And you can see playing as the Teutons, you can see all the resources here as well. Teuton's one of the best civs, so Shania, definitely in an amazing position there. Lost on the other side, another great player. In the Japanese, another great civ, not quite as powerful as the previous, but still workable. And on the opposing flank from Lost, we have Hammer Time, a friend of Trace and Joker that they have trained to become incredibly good at Forest Nothing. He was actually a ranked player until recently. I'm sure he still is. And he is playing... This is not Hammer Time actually, this is Joker. My bad. Joker is playing as the Incas. One of his favorites is for 11 by 11. He has a nasty Imperial Age time with them. And I'm sure we'll see it this game as well. Trace is in the pocket, as usual, playing as the Teutons. Trace, usually when you think of pocket player, you think of the weaker one, like they did on this side. Quiche, slightly weaker than the others, so they put him in pocket. But that's the other way around with Trace. Trace is incredibly strong. So strong that he can support both sides at the same time. So that's what he'll be doing with one of the best civs as well, Teutons. And the other flank here is Hammer Time. I already introduced him on accident, but that's alright. He is playing as the Portuguese, a civ that he has definitely had success with previously in the tournament. So, Shania against Hammer Time. Shania is probably slightly favored, especially with this civ. But Shania might not be expecting the opening that Hammer Time likes to do with Portuguese, which is a full Arbalest opening with bombard cannons. So Portuguese have a gold discount on all units, making their champions incredibly cheap in gold. And they can actually click up faster because of it, because their mangonels cost less. They also, if you get the unique tech, have ballistics on bombard cannons, making an incredible combo for bomber cannon and arbalest because enemy onagers simply can't get close. And we can see one team all clicking up at the same time, other team all clicking up at the same time. It's very tight here. One person slightly later. He may be doing, yeah, he did 18 population while everyone else did 17. Well, one did 16. And you'll see everyone doing the same, building market blacksmith, market blacksmith, market skip him, market blacksmith, market blacksmith, market blacksmith, market blacksmith, there. And now every player is just going to be making their way to Castle Age. Hammer Time and Trace first. Teutons always have a very fast Castle Age if you go the ideal 18 population. And we'll just watch these players boom up for a little bit. Teutons have a very strong boom with cheaper farms. Incas also have the same strong boom because they have houses that have 10 population, so you don't need nearly as many. Portuguese, they don't have a very strong economy until the gold bonus takes in the late game. On the other hand, Teutons, we discussed them. Sicilians have a great farm bonus. Each farm technology that you get will give double the food, and that is helps massively in all stages of the game. Well, and except Dark Age. It's very overlooked as a save bonus, but if you get the second farm upgrade in Castle Age, it'll save you a lot of resources. And Japanese, they get a slight eco bonus at the start with cheaper lumber camps and mills, but they lack guilds in the late game, so their late game economy will be slightly weaker than the rest. Incas, on the other hand, lack the last wood upgrade, but they do have guilds, so it's slightly better for them, not by much. But it is a little easier to keep everything running. We can see here, Joker is very good with Incas. 12 farms or so with the market up, and this is only at 15 minutes, almost around 16 minutes, and he's already got a market up. That's very impressive. Very few players can build a market at 15 minutes and be anywhere close to clicking up. Trace just now building a market down for Hammer Time, market going down for Shania, market down for Quiche, and market going up and then back down for Lost. First one up is Joker. As I discussed Incas, when you have so many farms, you can sell a lot of food. So you can get to imp pretty quickly if you sell your food first. Next up is Hammer Time, and then everyone from the Vikings is clicking up at a similar time. The only one not clicked up right now is Chase. He's a little bit behind, it seems. Yeah, just now clicking up. And this is when Joker's already hitting it. So, Incas against Japanese, both strong infantry civs. Japanese have stronger infantry alone, but as I said, they have a slightly weaker economy. They're missing the last farm upgrade, I believe, which isn't a huge deal, but does stack up over time. And the slower imp time will also hurt a little bit. Everyone has a slower imp time than Joker flushes Incas. It's simply so hard to beat. Shania Twain on this side, just getting Onager upgrade in. And Teutons will be really strong, but Portuguese are a good civ at holding. And we can see Hammer Time, he's not cutting forward right away, he's actually cutting back. Not like super far back, but he's not cutting straight ahead. Meanwhile, most other players, cutting straight, although Shania has a habit of cutting the wrong way. Quiche will be cutting towards Shania. And everyone gets guilds, wood cutting upgrades. These are the important things you want to get in early imp, because they can really define how the game goes if you miss or get those eco upgrades, especially guilds, which is an upgrade you should generally get right away because you never want to miss it. If you miss guilds, you're at a huge disadvantage. For example, if Slavs had guilds, they would probably be one of the best civs in the game. Instead, they're like top 10 maybe. If they have guilds, they'd probably be top 3. But unfortunately they do not, and neither do Japanese, and we'll see fighting start very soon here on this side. If we slow down, very late technology buildings for Lost. See barracks going up right at the front, the same with Blacksmith. But with Joker, he's had many barracks up for a while, he's had his blacksmiths up. And if we compare upgrades, I think you can see them at the top. No upgrades for Lost. For Joker in yellow, he's got 2-2 in both infantry upgrades. So he's at a massive advantage right now. And he's also getting champion, while Lost is getting man-at-arms, which means he's still a few minutes off from being fully upgraded. And Joker's going to have a big edge here once the fighting starts. It's going to take Lost a little while to recover. On this side, as I said, Hammer Time not cutting forward, just cutting very wide, getting himself a lot of space. And he's got archery ranges. He's gonna open with arbalest against what infantry Shania will make, because Shania has barracks and infantry upgrades and nothing else. No siege engineers either. So Shania's siege isn't even going to be very strong. And against arbalest, you want a lot of siege. On this side, Japanese longswords. Pretty good for longswords, but not good against champions. So Joker will have the advantage here. He's got a lot of champions coming in right away. And I don't think there's much Lost can do here. The best he can do is, like, as he is doing, turtling up, holding on. He's going to try to wall off, buy himself time, and hopefully he can survive until Sling is allowed and he can try to rebound. This side, Shania not doing bad, but not doing great. Good bombard cannon micro by Hammer Time. As a ranked player, he does have pretty good micro. Shania pretty ambitious with these buildings. This would wall himself off if he did complete them. Hopefully he doesn't, because that would not be a good thing. Unless maybe he wants to, but I don't see why he would, because the other side is in danger. If the other side's in danger, you want to be pushing. So it's 28 minutes right now. Sling becomes allowed at 35, so it's going to be 5 more minutes. But Lost is actually doing alright here. He's stabilized. The only problem is Trace has come. And you can see Trace is already on both sides with siege onagers for 9 range. So fully upgraded. And he's just going to prevent both sides from losing. He's going to make sure both of these players here, yellow and orange, are stabilized and are not going to lose anytime soon. And none of them are, because Shania switched into pikemen against arbalest. And Shania's siege is still not fully upgraded. He has siege engineers, but not siege onager or any bombard cannon of sorts. And Lost calls the GG because, well, he's getting overrun. Trace is here, and Joker, as we see, is just incredibly powerful. And that is it for game 1. So if you look at statistics, various times a little late for Trace, a little early for Joker, military highest for Joker, economy highest for Trace, that's what you'd expect. Units, KD, best for Joker. Most buildings killed. Army high is actually Hammer Time, probably because your arbalests don't die very quickly like other units do. Economy, Trace. Pretty obvious. And the rest, self-explanatory. That is it for game 1. We will be back briefly for game 2. Welcome back to Vikings versus Triple Bidax. Triple Bidax has taken 1 game. So Vikings are 0-1, and as per tournament rules, the first 3 games are 11-11, 7-7, and 9-9 respectively. And whoever loses 2 of those games will be able to choose the next map. So for now we're on 7-7, as we are only on game 2. And once again, to reintroduce the players, we have Trace as the pocket, playing as the Spanish. Interesting civ choice, because Spanish aren't usually considered that good. Mediocre siege, average infantry, and no real good eco bonus. Flank is Hammer Time as the Khmer. Much different from Spanish. They have a very strong eco bonus, multiple, and they have some very strong siege. The problem is their economy. Their late game economy is awful, lacking guilds and the last wood cutting upgrade. The overpowered scorpions you hear so much about are practically a novelty in games like these, where you can very rarely reach that point in the game. On the other hand, we have Joker, once again flank, playing as the Vikings. Vikings, strong early game economy, slightly weak late game economy because of the lack of guilds, but with good units. Champions with more HP and decent siege workshop. We have Lost as Incas. Hopefully he can get some revenge on Joker this time. He is playing as a good Civ now. We've discussed Incas before, so I will not go over them again. Quiche, once again in the pocket, playing as the Slavs. Slavs get a farming bonus, so their feudal age time is usually pretty good. And feudal age time is very important on 7x7 because you will have a lot of wood, but not much else. So the more wood you can sell for gold, the better. So Slavs, very good. Lacking guilds later on, but it's workable. Shania Twain as the Khmer, we discussed them. So it is a Khmer mirror on one side, but you will learn very quickly that Shania is by far more experienced than Hammer Time on 7x7. Hammer Time shows good performances on 11x11, but on 7x7 not as much. Joker and Trace, very comfortable on 7x7. All of the Vikings, very comfortable. So this is either one's game. So it seems like the triple bit axe team is a bit stronger on 11x11, but on 7x7 it seems a bit more even. And we'll see how that plays out in this game. Everyone just getting some eco upgrade. I'm not sure who got the first sale, but it definitely wasn't Hammer Time. This is a very late sale, 10 minutes 11 seconds. Ideally it's closer to 7-8 minutes, I think. There was a pause, some discussion, but it's been resolved. Zooming out is so cool. We can see all of the Vikings on one team, a bit X on another, and just a lot of wood. You can see Shania, Quiche, these Castle Age times. Shania has 2 town centers very quickly as Khmer. It's insane to see. But if you look at the population, Hammer Time had a decent Castle Age, but he's on 21 pop compared to 24 for others. Even 30 for Shania Twain, which is 5 ahead of everyone else. Lost. Strong player, but 5 population behind. Joker, strong player, 5 population behind. That is the power of Khmer. Their late game economy is bad. Their late game units are usually pretty bad outside of heavy scorpions. But their economy is so strong on 7x7, it might just carry them. And same for Hammer Time, but his economy is not going as well. He's 6 villagers behind, or rather, almost 10 villagers behind Shania. And it seems like the Vikings are slightly more comfortable with their build orders in general. Quiche, not a true Viking, but still doing alright. Similar amount of villagers as Lost, in fact slightly more. The Slavs farming bonus does help. On this side, most villagers is Joker. He didn't have to get wheelbarrow and handcart. He didn't need to spend that time on the town center, so he will have more. He's second right now to Shania, who's had just 2 town centers for a lot longer, so he can cut more space. And more space is more wood and more farms. Market going up at 20 minutes. If we slow down for a moment, if we look at wood banked, Shania is the only one to have sold wood. Also has wood in the bank and has not sold it yet. So players now will only just be building a market, while Shania's already deleted and is clicking up. Once again, that is the power of Khmer. We know how to play them well. Hammer Time, also Khmer, but still around 10 villagers behind, so he can't click up at the same time. You can see he has no food in the bank. He has wood, but no food. Everyone else has some sort of food. Even Shania, who's already clicked up to him, spent 1,000 food, has 700 and climbing. So this is Hammer Time is significantly behind Shania. On the other side, we have Joker. Joker is clicking up at a minute, or he'll be up in a minute. Same with Lost, they'll be similar. And once again, it is Incas against a strong infantry civ that lacks guilds, but we'll see if it turns in Lost's favor this time. If Incas will continue to win, or if the strong infantry civ will actually take a game. Similar imp times for the pockets as well, Quiche and Trace. If we compare populations, it's actually dead even with them, 55 and 55. And there's 58 to 60, which is relatively even. Actually, I think I was comparing the wrong players. It doesn't matter. Oh well. Look, it's already going up, but Hammer Time just now clicking up. 5 town centers against 2. This is a bit of a disaster for Hammer Time. On the other side, 4 town centers going up right around. 3rd town center going up for Lost. A little slower, Lost is, but slightly better civ as well. You can see the overall stats here. In fact, they're identical for everything. Military units doesn't matter because it's all onagers at this point. Economy is in favor of the Vikings. 245 to 200. That is significant. Probably most of it has to do on this side, where Lost is at 75 pop, but Shania is at 105. And we'll see how Shania does in the opening fight here. Because remember, Trace is still as a pocket, and he is still cutting to both sides. So if Shania is not fast enough, then Hammer Time will still have a chance because of Trace. On this side, Lost going for a castle as he usually does his Incas. So Incas have a discount on their castles. The reason I would still disagree with it is because it doesn't actually help them that much. But getting his invades. Same as Joker. Joker can go more stops. Lost doing just less of everything. Well, more barracks now. So he'll be doing alright. It's not just bad. Wild card here is still Shania. Quiche cutting to Shania as Slavs. Five town centers for Quiche. The Slavs also have a strong economy, but lacking guilds. Khmer also lacking guilds. And we're about to see how this goes down. No range upgrade on their onagers for either side. It is a nice upgrade to have at the start because it allows you to get those first hits off. You can easily snipe a few extra onagers with your own. This side it starts out even. Both sides just gonna be spamming champs at each other until one comes out ahead or one forgets an upgrade or such. Speaking of upgrades, only +2/+2. If I could see +4/+4 for Lost. So, advantage Lost. Lost getting a trebuchet. That is an advantage of having a castle. But it is pretty expensive to get one. On this side, Trace has very quickly come in with champions, so Hammer Time has not actually lost a single bit of economy. Very impressive by Trace, very impressive by Hammer Time. And Shania is actually in a bit of danger now because Khmer don't have guilds, as mentioned. They don't have the wood upgrade. They took this very long. See, it's already just halberdiers, no siege. So, even though they look so strong in the early game, Khmer are starting to show their weakness. But Quiche is coming with, hopefully he's coming with champions. They seem to be content where they are, but maybe Quiche will notice them. On this side, Lost kind of not keeping steady with his production a bit of ground, is losing a trebuchet. That's 200 gold down there. Still not fully upgraded for Joker. Is fully upgraded for Lost. The Lost should be able to hold here. He does have guilds. He could do to refresh his lumber camps a little bit better, but these ones are good. This one's good. But on this side, it's looking alright, but not great. Quiche is producing from all the way back here. You can just watch his siege onagers leisurely rolling up to the front. If Quiche had instead built siege workshops here, Shania deleted a few buildings for them, it would be much better. On this side, Lost has failed to wall out Joker, and Joker is actually getting into the economy. Just now completing the wall, after all of these champions are in. Not ideal for Lost, not the end of the world. The castle will keep him steady for a while. Hammer Time getting a lot of scorpions out, but without the unique tech, they're actually just kind of average, except for having one extra range. So against onagers, they're still very poor. They are good against infantry as always, but not like super good against infantry, like they would if they had the unique tech. Quiche's siege onagers really need to get some good hits off here. Not just against the scorpions, but if they just went on after the infantry, it would help out a lot. Because this infantry is being a problem. If you clear this, you could walk your siege onagers forward and kill this. This could be good. Unfortunately not. Lost. Holding on here. Not doing great. It'll take Joker a long time to push the castle because he doesn't have bombard cannons as Vikings. And he doesn't have a castle of his own, but Captureage will do the trick. It is 40 minutes, so sling is allowed. But Shania will probably not have the resources to sling, as you can see. Not much banked up. A lot of food, but no wood. Quiche, a little bit of wood, but not that much. Quiche really needs some forward production. Because if all of these siege onagers had been here a minute earlier, this would have been so much better, but he's still producing out of just, it seems, 2 siege workshops, maybe 3. And he's producing them from all the way back here and here. So I know, like, you want your allies to have the base, their space, but at this point Quiche is doing way more than Shania because Quiche is Slavs and Shania is not. And Slavs are just so much better in this position. Lost. He can't get any massive units out. They're made and then they just kind of die. And Joker can win Connie again. Quiche trying to cut that way with some onagers and some champions to back up. But this side is still losing. Bombard cannons, heavy scorpions, such a strong combo. Spanish, not very good in general, but nothing bad about them either. They have decent economy. They have the trade bonus. There's a few trade units out, not many. But there's just a lot of units in general. And the only way to clear this up is with siege onagers. And Quiche has siege onagers, he just needs a lot more, and he needs them a lot faster. Which is why he really needs forward production here. So he's trying to cut to Lost to help out. Kind of cutting in an awkward angle. Maybe he thinks that Lost is an enemy and he's trying to like sneak attack him. Not the case, obviously. Trace, bomber cannons used against the castle. This will help push Lost down much faster, because it's really hard to kill this without bombard cannons. And see if these siege onagers can get stuff done. well, no. That was pretty anticlimactic. If Quiche had just built more siege workshops, we could have had a lot more onager shots. That would make this video a lot more interesting than it is. But if you actually watch these, well, I'm sure you don't care about the siege onager shots anyways, because there is a lot more to this game than siege onager shots. Although many would contest that. Lost, holding on. The stronger Incan economy is helping him out a bit compared to Vikings lacking guilds. And the castle fire getting a few extra hits, but not with fletching or anything. It is fully upgraded for hammer Joker flush now, I'm sorry. Not fully upgraded for hammer time. Not fully upgraded for trace even. Well, if you look at this, Quiche, 0 farm upgrades. Shania Twain, surprisingly, 0 farm upgrades. Lost, just 1 farm upgrade. This whole team seems to have a bit of an issue, and I think you guys can tell what it is. And I think there's a bit of a trend going on. Look at this. Wood upgrades, farm upgrades, all done. Wood upgrades done, although some civs don't have them. Farm upgrades, none. Just 1 out of the entire team. This team's winning, this team has farm upgrades. This team's losing, doesn't have farm upgrades. If you're watching this game to learn something, make sure you don't forget your farm upgrades, because they're very easy to miss, even by top players like Shania Twain, and top players like Lost and Quiche. Unfortunately, farm upgrades are a massive bonus, and if you don't have them, you're doing something wrong. And, well, as I say that, the game is called with 1 team, 1 farm upgrade, other team, 8 farm upgrades. I think that's all that needs to be said. Statistics, military for Trace, economy for Quiche is Slavs, but obviously he didn't get that forward production and he didn't get that massive siege on interest that he really needed to push back those scorpions. Economy, most collected in general is Quiche, but most wood is actually Joker flush. And that is it for game 2. We'll be back shortly for game 3.